Hello and welcome back. This is Saxon Math. This is course 1. We're looking at problems about equal groups. Equal groups word problems can look like this. If you've got the pattern down, it is number of groups times the number in each group equaling a total. Don't forget that in multiplication you could flip-flop these around. It could be number of groups, or the number in the group could be over here, and the number of groups could be over here, and it's still going to equal your total. But you need to multiply to find the unknown total. Sometimes you'll have to divide to find an unknown factor. So for example, there were 232 students in 8 classrooms. If there were the same number of students in each classroom, how many students would each classroom have? So first of all, let's write the equation. The equation would look like this. We have 8 classrooms, which represents the number of groups. 8 classrooms is the number of groups. So each group is a class. And we don't know the number in each group. So we put n for the unknown. We're just using a value from the alphabet. We'll just use the letter n for the word number. And then we've got the total 232 students. So this is the unknown factor, which with the unknown factor just means we have to divide to find the known factor, or with the known factor. So you have 232 divided by 8 would be 29 students. So the number in each classroom then is 29 students. There are 8 classes of 29 students. If we have a theater and there are 21 rows of seats and there are 18 seats in each row, you can find out what the total is. We know the total will be 378 seats because we know the number of groups, which is 21 rows, and we know that there are 18 seats in each group or in each row. So that's within the grouping, and then that will get us our total. And if we multiply that out, 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 2 is 2, and you add those together and you'd end up with 378 total seats in the auditorium or the theater. If we were looking at Russell Middle School having 232 7th grade students in 8 classrooms, and we're trying to find the unknown in this case, and you can realize and remember that there's a number of groups and there's a number in each group equaling a total. Could also be flip-flopped. We could say the number in the group times the number of groups equaling a total. If there are the same number of students in each classroom, how many students would there be in each excuse me, sorry. How many students would there be in each 7th grade classroom at Russell Middle School? So in this case, you would see that 232 is the total. We have the number of groups, actually. In this case, we have 8 classrooms times an unknown number of students. So it's similar to that previous one. We just have to do the 232 again. So just looking at it like this, 232 divided by 8, 8 goes into 23. It'll go in there 2 times, which will get us to 16. And we'll subtract that, and we end up with 4 plus 3 makes 7. And then this would be 2, and then this would be 9. 8 times 9 equals 72. There'd be nothing left over if we subtracted that. And then you'd have the number of students in each group here. Okay, Let's try this a few times. So follow the four-step method to solve each problem along with each answer. Include the equation you would use to solve the problem. And here it says, sometimes it is helpful to write dollars and cents in cents only form. So you can see $4.50 would be the same as 450 cents. Why would we do that? Because we have another number here that's in the cents form, 25 cents. So if Marcy collected $4.50 selling lemonade at 25 cents for each cup, how many cups of lemonade did Marcy sell? So you can see that the total is actually going to be $4.50. And we've got the number of groups is 25 cents for each cup. We don't know how many cups there were. So 25 cents times the number of cups. I'm just going to use C for cups. So we're trying to find out how many cups. So how many cups of lemonade did Marcy sell? So again, the hint here was to take that $4.50 and turn it into all pennies. So we could have 450 cents, and we could divide that by 25 cents. And then whatever this number is going to be labeled in cents, cups, because both the cents would actually end up canceling out. This cents and this cents, those two things would actually end up canceling themselves out. This would go away, this would go away because they're dividing. It's like having 20 over 20 equals 1. So if we had cents over cents, it's just going to eliminate itself. All you're going to be left with is a number, and that number is going to be the number of cups. So 25 will go into 45. It'll go in there one time. If we did it two times, you know that it'd be 50 cents, right? Or 50. So it only goes in there one time. We subtract it. We end up with 0 here. This would be 2, and we have to remember to bring that 0 down. So we have 200 divided by 25. You know that 4 times 25 will be equal 100. So you know if 4 of them is 100, that means 200 would be the same as 8. We'd need 8 of them to make 200. And we'd have nothing left over if we subtracted that. There'd be no remainder. The answer is 18 cups. Okay, so if you got that, you're correct. Let's try another one. In the store parking lot, there were 18 parking spaces in each row, and there were 12 rows of parking spaces. Altogether, how many parking spaces were in the parking lot? So we actually don't know what the total is, how many spaces there were, but we do know that there were 18 spaces in each row, and there were 12 rows. So it's basically that. You've got your equation, which is 18 parking spaces in each group, basically, and then there are 12 groups. So 18 times 12 is all you're looking at. So that's all I need to do, 18 times 12, and that looks like this. 8 times 2 is 16, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 makes 3. This would be 8 here, and then 1 times 1 would be 1. We need to make sure we're lining those up properly, and then we just add those together. You end up with 6. This would be 11, and this would be 2. 216 would be the total number of spaces in the parking lot. So I'm going to just label it spaces, and that would be the answer. All right, excellent job today, guys. Make sure, if you don't know what the 4-step process is, again, let's just review that real quickly here. But if you've got the equation, you read the equation, write the equation, and either divide or multiply to solve for the unknown. So if you've got an unknown total, you're going to multiply. If you've got an unknown factor, which is one of these, if one of these pieces is a factor, then you would divide. And then if you've got the total already, you would have to end up dividing one of the factors from the total. And then you need to solve it by answering it and labeling it. Okay, excellent work. Make sure you guys do the WP 1 through 30 in lesson 15 during your 50-minute period on the tomorrow. We'll see you next time.